imagine that being in the car with me.
Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Pitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoop's grooving like a funky jam. Dip through the doorway, spin by the cab, bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through curtain, dancing on breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remotes a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 75. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Below, we fly that flow. Below, grab that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll. Funk and control. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. Bounce that all. We fly it all. Funk it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoop's got rhythm, my stick's got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split, it's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
What's up, friends? My name is Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the show. The show is Free Inch Friday because I can't think of any F words. I mean, I can always think of one F word, but I can't think of any F words related to 3-inch quads. We're gonna finish up a very special build tonight. This is my frame. That a whole bunch of people have had their hand in. Ryan Harrell has had the most influence on. Yeah, this just needs a flight controller. I don't know if this ESC is good or not, and there's not a great way of testing ESCs, you know, other than just like finishing the build up. So yeah, we're gonna finish this build up. I found a flight controller floating around. I need a good, who knows, it's gonna be SkyStars, but who knows of a good, cheap 20x20 flight controller that's out there? that was the one thing that was holding this build up. I was gonna try to find a cheap 20x20 flight controller, and I looked for a little bit, and then it's hard to find anything that's not like $60, you know? So yeah, I am on the hunt for the next cheap 20x20 flight controller because I'm running out. I stocked up a long time ago on Talon F7 flight controllers, which were basically SP Racing, made by SP Racing for Heli Nation. Rip Heli Nation, unfortunately. And do you mind? And they were really good, but I stocked up on them a long time ago, and now they're all gone. And yeah, I need something simple and straightforward that's just sort of gonna work. So let me know if you I know there's the Speedy Bee one. Teddy, this is a lot, buddy, and you're fucking this chair up. Can you just relax? Get out of here. Oh boy. I hit his toy. And now he's visibly upset. No. Don't come over here. Back up. Look at this dog, man. Look over here. Teddy, look over here. Look over here. Oh my god. I tried. So yeah, let me know if you know of a readily available. When I say readily available, I mean Newbie Drone, Pirate Drone, CiottiFPV, Race Day Quads. 20x20 flight controller that's cheap and not garbage. I've heard really good things about SkyStars, but they're hard to I think Pirate Drone's the only place that has them. I could totally be wrong. But last time I looked, yeah. Farts. In the chat. Stop! Teddy, stop! You're killing this chair, man. Out. Go upstairs. Teddy, upstairs. Get out. Get out. Go upstairs. He's not gonna leave me alone. Oh, Jesus Christ on a crutch. Rockcrawler Frank Nicholas, Shaken FPV, Fizz PV, Uke, Green Thumb, The Bruce, Uriel, Chuck P, Giddybots, Uriel, Unanticipated Bill. Unanticipated Bill. I like that. 10 out of 10. Green Thumb, Basilius, El Chingon, Frank Nicholas again. Riri123. FPV.kiwi. Falcon FPV. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. Type CiottiFPV. Type at CiottiFPV into your chat message if you want to get my attention. Type at somebody else's name if you want to get their attention. Uriel says phenomenal. Phenomenal Farts Friday. Phenomenal's too long of a word. I need short little words for the thumbnails. Frank Nicholas says I'll review my flight controller inventory and get with you. Sounds good, dude. Frank's got inventory. I love it. You can have Frank. Frank was the smartest person in the room before all hell broke loose a year ago, and he stocked up and he got a bunch of stuff pre douchebag pricing. And so yeah, he's literally got inventory. It's pretty awesome. You can FPV says broke the ceramic antenna off my 2G4, took the copper one off my broken AIO5. Better than new. Yeah, it's really ridiculous that when these ceramic antennas break off and we replace them with janky ass little bits of wire, that it works better. It's so ridiculous. Oh shit, Jimmy the cow, there he is. Are you slapping water slide stickers on that 3-inch build? Let's see. Let's see if there's any water slide stickers that would work on a carbon fiber frame. Most of these are black. There's a couple white ones in here. You can get these from BetaFPV's website. Don't! Goddamn dog. These are pretty much all orange and black. The black would disappear against the carbon fiber. These are orange and blue and black. So, yeah, I mean, there's like a couple white ones. There's some white numbers right here. Man, you know, my dad mentioned how small these were, and I didn't really, like, wrap my head around that. These are ridiculously small. This is going to be insane. Let's do this. Let's do this. Look. Here. Jimmy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to open them, and I'm going to combine them. And then it'll be... Back up! Back up! Get away from me. Stop ruining this chair. This little fucking maniac. Look, I'm going to combine them. I'm doing something. I'm doing a little something. I haven't opened... I haven't held water slide stickers in forever. I asked Sandy Claus for the little bottles of Release Agent and Fling Flong. Stop it! Get out of here! Bad! Get out of here. Look how little these are. That's what she said. Look at that. They're pretty cool, though. So this is the medium-sized sheet. I don't know about orange. I'm not a big orange kind of guy. Although orange is in the Burger King logo. So I should be a... I gotta do a build that's... Whoa. There's one chunk of hair that just will not... fucking chill out. Chill out! I took a nap today. Does it look like I took a nap today? Friday morning is my morning to get Bobo on the bus. At 5... Well, I'm gonna wake her up at 5:15. She's gotta be on the bus at 6 a.m. So, Friday is a little rough. But look, I'm combining them. Look, I'm gonna open this one, too. El Chingon! It's one of my favorite names. El Chingon sounds good when you just scream it as loud as you can. Try it. Try it. See? Isn't that better? Look at this one. There's usually a bit of wax paper on top, but I don't think there is on this one. Look at this one here. Look, so now I've got these opened. We're one step closer. I'm definitely gonna wait until I get the cool little bottles of Release Agent and lacquer or whatever the hell it is. Ooh, those Express LRS ones. Those are pretty cool. So we got a couple white ones, right? We got like a couple white ones in here. This sheet actually has a bunch of white ones. Can't even read that. It probably says Meteor Series because that's what it says on the left, so we won't really use those. That's cool. The little stripes there. These numbers, we'll definitely use those. Absolutely use the 6 and the 9. Unquestionably. That says Meteor there. We won't use that. These white Express LRS ones, though, that's pretty nice. This is the sheet to have. This is the sheet to have right here. Oh, thank God. He's sleeping. Don't wake him up, you loud bastards. There's nothing better than when animals finally go to sleep. I missed out on young children, so I never got to have that experience with human beings. But I've been told by Maggie that that is about as good as it gets when you're raising littles. Some of you will be feeling that right now. So yeah, look at that. Look what I did. I put them all into one. One step closer, man. We'll get that. We'll get those two little bottles. Anybody that doesn't know what those bottles are, here, let me show you. Bow, 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 baby, baby, boo. Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark, setter and softer. Softer. Mr. Mark, he probably knows what's up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up a video or two about how to really work with these little water slide stickers, because it seems like it's not easy. What's this? Sticker operated box. What the hell does that mean? Oh my god. This thing is probably gonna, I mean, it's probably just a sponge, right? I bet you it's just a sponge. Water decals operated box. What an absolutely insane name for it. It's just a sponge. It's an operated box, bro. Operated box. Uriel says get a girlfriend. Check. Okay, so I can use a sponge. So I can put the little bastards on a sponge. That's pretty cool. But I bet you the sponge has to be in a box to hold the water in. Paper box. It's a paper box. Great. It's obviously not paper. Oh, I love it. I love the bad I will never get sick of the bad translations. Oh, look, there's a million of them. There's a million sponge boxes. There's a SpongeBob joke in here somewhere. Yeah. Interesting. I'm sure there's a YouTube video on how to do this that'll make my life 1,000 times easier. Look, review images. Oh my god, look at this guy. Going in hard. Oh, he's making little mechs. Hyper bazooka. This is going to be cool. Once I finally get down and dirty with these water slide decals, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to be putting them on everything. It arrived broken. Shit. Maybe because it was made of paper. Maybe they mailed the paper one. Where are we at here? Jimmy the Cow says, the water slides are micro for the micro whoops installed by the Micro King. FPV says, did you see BetaFPV's new HD video system? LOL. You better be kidding. You better not be telling the truth. Is it the Aquila? I clicked it. Nothing's happening. Is it the Aquila? It's probably not the Aquila. Google's probably not going to find it. Everybody always... Okay, nothing's working. Tell me where to find it if that's a real thing. And I can just absolutely lose my mind. CiottiFPV says, pretty sure that side cam needs white balance. No, I have it. I have this camera white balanced for the room. I have it white balanced for this basically, because the red and the purple does weird things. See, I have it basically white balanced for that over there, that lamp. But it's fine. It's fine. The way that I have to white balance these stupid Logitech cameras is absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. Uriel says, my PayPal is effed up. I tried again to support. Soon my system ideal will crease. Then I put my words on table. Sorry you're having troubles, but I appreciate you putting your words on the table. We all need to put our words on the table, my friends. Put your words where your mouth is. Keep your money out of there. It's touched a bunch of people's hands. Keep your fucking money out of your mouth. It's disgusting. You're gonna get foot and mouth disease. CiottiFPV says, now that Teddy is nothing but a lifeless corpse, I suggest you take him to get stuffed. All right. Basilius says, I thought you were talking about micro sol and micro set. What's that mean? What's micro sol and micro set? I'm gonna call you Kos with 100 CZK super chat. Thank you, dude. CO3 versus Nano 3. Is that 0.35 grams worth the quality that we lose with the Nano 3? CO3 looks much better. Ooh! That's a really good question. It's not about the weight for me. It's about the mounting solutions. The Nano 3 mounts very cleanly in this old school upside down ball sack canopy. You can mount a CO3 in here, but it's an even bigger weight penalty because you have to use a little adapter piece. I had a stack of them sitting here, but then I got organized and now I screwed myself. So yeah, it's not just a 0.35 gram weight penalty because of the different mounting solutions. I wouldn't really recommend that you mount a CO3 in here. Realistically, you're going to mount a CO3 in a TPU holder of some sort. I really like the Bri Brains. And they're not going to be... So here's the deal. If you want absolute max durability with adjustable up tilt, the Runcam Nano 3 in this canopy. That's it. That's like the... And also, it has the biggest kind of like side area. So when you turn with this thing, it's going to turn with you. It gives you good wind resistance from the side. So like... This is my favorite combination still because the ducts are very tall here. This is the Cockroach V3 frame. And then this canopy has a bunch of material to it. So this particular setup, when I'm flying and then I turn it really flat, there's a bunch of wind resistance that stops it from sliding. And so this is very, very accurate. This goes exactly where I want it to, and it doesn't go where I don't want it to, which makes it ideal for flying hard freestyle inside of really small spaces like this little basement here. And so that's what the Nano 3 is all about. The CO3 is my go-to for outdoor stuff. And so I've actually got it in this guy. This is the CO3 in here, and I do have it in this canopy because this is a 2S build with all the power in the world. So I don't care about the extra weight of this canopy with the little adapter with the CO3 in it. I'm using this canopy because I want max durability. It also gives me a really nice spot to stick this antenna in. There's a nice little hole in the back of it. So yeah, it's not quite as simple as just the 0.35 gram weight penalty. You know, this is a rig that I'm not worried about the weight, and so the better quality of the CO3 camera is like perfect. Like, this is the right kind of camera and canopy setup. I could certainly, if I wanted to save a little bit of weight, I could do this CO3 on a Bri-Brain mount, but I crashed this thing really hard outside, and especially now that it's getting cold out, TPU is going to become really brittle. And so, yeah, for an indoor build, what I'm going to... If you want better image quality than the Runcam Nano 3 on an indoor build, and you're willing to sacrifice having something that's kind of like more aerodynamic, that's going to slide more, the BetaFPV Air V2 canopy is apparently the way to go. The Air V1 canopy is a little fragile. I've heard really good things about the Air V2 canopy, and that canopy is meant for the CO3. So that's kind of the deal. The CO3 with that Air canopy is probably going to be the same weight, if not a little bit lighter, than the Runcam Nano 3 in the ball sack canopy. It's probably not going to be as durable, and it is going to slide more. So those are the positives and negatives of CO3 versus Nano 3. It's not just the cameras. It has a lot to do with how you're going to mount them. And yeah, rig with lots of power, CO3, adapter, ball sack canopy. Indoor, willing to sacrifice a little bit of slidiness, CO3, Air V2 canopy. Indoor, you want as laser beam scalpel as possible, Nano 3, ball sack canopy. Make sense? Thank you for the support, friend. Basilius says micro sole and micro set are liquids for water slide decals. Okay. One is for softening decals, others for better adhesion. You got it. Brandon's Baked Beans is in the chat. What's up, brother? Kos says, I have exactly that frame and canopy, but Nano 3 really looks terrible. Yeah, I mean, compared to the CO3, I mean, I actually have, oddly, the folder of images from the camera tests that we did sitting right here on my desktop. I don't necessarily think that the Nano 3 looks that bad, especially considering that all Analogue looks pretty awful. But this is the CO3, and then that's the Nano 3. Yeah, I mean, it's... the Nano 3 does look pretty bad. But it's super lightweight, and it does just... It's a camera, you know? And in fairness, like, the CO3 looks really good. Like, this is the... Like, a lot of these... This is the 199C camera. This looks horrible. BI always looks pretty good. Not nearly as good as the CO3, though. Here's the Caddx Ant. That looks pretty weird. It's okay, though. Here's the Flywoo Nano. Looks all right. Foxeer Razor really struggles. tinywhoop Pinch does something interesting where, like, the center of the frame is kind of, like, more zoomed out. But a lot of people like it. So yeah, I don't know. The Runcam Nano 3, and I think this is one of the bad Runcam Nano 3s because it's all purple on the left side. Is this one a little bit better? This is maybe one of the better Runcam Nano 3s. I don't know. I have a whole bunch of the Runcam Nano 3s. They drop right into those mounts. It's, you know, all Analogue is kind of ugly, and so whatever. If I can get my hands on some of those... What happened here? BetaFPV just told me that they're sending me some of the V2 batteries. I completely forgot to ask them to throw in some of the Air V2 canopies. God damn it, Jim. I'm gonna send a message right now. Just hang on 1 second, because there's a chance that. Oh. If the batteries haven't gone out yet, could you possibly throw in some of the new Air V2 canopies? Awesome. Okay, so there's a chance that I'll get some of those. I haven't. Have you guys seen those pop up anywhere? About to sneeze. I have not seen those Air V2 canopies popping up anywhere, but admittedly, I've been a little bit behind on stuff. Doesn't look like they're on tinywhoop's channel. Let's check. Oh, shit, they're on WeBleed. Oh, look at that. We won't have to do bell swaps on the 0702 40,000s anymore. We still don't have any good propellers, though. But I have been screaming and yelling at Zotek to hammer Gemfan and HQ to make 1.2-inch props with the 1.5mm shafts. But yeah, it looks like I need to do a little WeBleed order to get some of these Air V2 canopies. That way I don't have to wait 16 furlongs for them. It's not furlong is not the word I was looking for. Fortnight. Furlongs. Furlong is a measure of distance, isn't it? Is an eighth of a mile. 220 yards is a furlong. Fortnight. How long is a fortnight? No! It's not. I spelled it wrong. N-I-G-H-T. 2 weeks. A fortnight is 2 weeks. Yo, Europeans are just better at the English language than us. I mean, go figure. They kind of invented it. Is this just the this just the same thing? I wonder if. No, this isn't the same thing. This is just for propellers. It doesn't fit the prop popper. If you don't have one of these, this is really nice to have. Get yourself one of these. This is great. You put a bunch of you put one set of every propeller that you have into here, and then you bring this wherever you go with your whoops, and then you've got an extra full set of props. This is really, really cool. I have the tinywhoop one that Custom FPV designed that also has a little slot in it for the old school prop puller, which is very, very cool. What's this wood? Oh, okay. It's just wood. The lore lives on. Okay. It's just a wood block. It's burned for $80. I'm sure there's a backstory behind this. What else is new on here? Here's the 1614. 1614, and here's the 1207s. Yeah, I need to do a WeBleed order. Oh god, and here's the prototype props, the 1.2x1s. Stop it, Teddy. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. Stop it. You're being a bad. Stop being a bad. Oh, look at this. JST 1.0 and 1.25 motor plugs. Awesome. And the purple Air V2 frame. Oh, and the Air V2 canopy. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna order this just to get the purple flip-flop here. Canopy. That's pretty cool. The back button is not working on here, so I'm having to click back and forth. So yeah, here's the new 1207. This has the potential of being the best tinywhoop prop, the best 1.2-inch prop ever. And then this is interesting, man. 1614. I'm totally happy with the Gemfan 1610 ByBlade. So I'll probably only get one set of these 1614s because I don't know of any 1.6-inch builds that I would want to have a tri-blade. But I can't not own at least one set of every single propellers that exists. So, yeah, I'm all about that. Very cool. Another new propeller. Oh, look, motor spacers. Very cool. Extra cool because I've run out of them on my Etsy store. There's the Nightwing motors. That's pretty cool. Oh my god, what in the shit? A tiny little resistor? What's this for? What? What in the world? I know it looks huge here, but I think this is microscopic. What is... Oh my god, there's a bunch of... He's selling a bunch of different resistors for 1206 SMD LEDs in different ohm ratings here. 22, 51, 240. What? There's a story behind these. I don't know what the story is. It's probably like the next item in the in here. Let's see. Sure enough, SMD 1206 pre-wired. Okay. This is beyond me. This level of... there it is. There it is. Okay. Different ohm ratings for different colors. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is... I crash these things too often. I'm not really willing to go this deep down the rabbit hole of customization. But those of you that are, I fucking salute you. And I absolutely love it. I really do. I love the like full-blown LED'd out tinywhoops. I can't fly them because I'll break all the LEDs on them. I have in the past, and I just break the LEDs, and then it's just dead weight. But yeah, I love it. I especially love it because when it's somebody else that has the drone with LEDs all over it, I get to see it because they fly it. This is the worst thing about going bananas with LEDs on your drone, is that you never get to see it. And that's another part of the reason that I don't do it. Whoop Group t-shirt. That's fun. Oh, look. A red light AF frame. That's pretty slick. Teddy, I swear to God, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. What are these? Oh, the inflatable tubes. These are a really cool idea. Having inflatable tubes with LEDs in them that don't weigh anything. I really like this a lot. They're probably really durable too, right? Because they're just going to give when you smash into them. 24 tubes. Look at that. Damn. Yeah, I dig that. I love that idea. So there we go. We did a little bit of news, new product news. Friday, Financial Ruins Friday. That's what I should have done today. Financial Ruins Friday, and we could have looked at all the new stuff. I mean, we basically did. TrueRC D pole. How light's this? Looks pretty light. What? 0.0027 kilograms. What does that mean? Does that mean 0.27 grams? I can't figure out the decimal points here. Hold on. What if I just Google machine this? Here we go. Give me a normal weight. weight X.X. Great. This is actually pretty cool. The D-pole. Get you a D-pole. Here we go. Here's a D-pole. Sold out. Give me a weight. 0.88 grams. Okay, so it's a little heavy. This one looks pretty long, though. The one on... nope, that's long. Yeah, so the D-pole exists, but that's a little bit long. I wouldn't really recommend that for a tinywhoop. It's going to just hang out the back too far, I think. But, you know, it's cool to have an item called the D-pole. This is a really good idea. I gotta snag one of these. I think this next order I do. I'm not gonna get the handle. I'm just gonna get the little, little fire suppression aerosol thing. Perfect for like a little fire. I have a proper fire extinguisher upstairs under the sink, but having this sitting on the shelf over here would be really, really nice. Hopefully I never need it. I think that's it. I think that gets us caught up, because I remember looking at these guys in the past. HD0 VTX antenna. Matrix flight controller. This is the one for the pairing with the 04 light. Okay. I don't remember what... Oh, and the bleed eye. I need to try out the bleed eye camera. We got to test the bleed eye. Forgot about that. And we got to see what mounts it fits in. Nice mount me hat. What movie is that from? CiottiFPV says, I was born with a D-pole. Unanticipated Bill says, the D-pole is cool, but it is long. I use one on my Grinderino. Long and floppy, just like my D-pole. Ba 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 ba.
In the world. In the world. In the world.
I tried. Getting caught up on chat here. Hold on. McBuca says, can you even buy a Nano 3 anywhere? Yes, GetFPV has them. It's not called the RunCam Nano 3. It's called the Emax Nano flip-flop camera. Hold on. If I type in RunCam Nano, I believe it does come up. There it is. Nano Hawk, that's it. Yeah, 26 bucks. Emax Nano Hawk RunCam Nano 3. It's bare wire, which is a little bit annoying, but I mean, whatever. If you need one, you need one. I have a bunch that I'm going to be putting for sale up on my Etsy store. Never. I've been saying that for like many months. Eventually I'll get them up there. I promise. Kos also says, and that's what I did. I built outside 1S build, but soldered motors. That's 16.6 grams with CO3. Gotcha. Striker says, what's the exact opposite of the Nano 3 build with the Newbie Drone CRV3? The most slide possible on... so I did an entire live stream about that. So, how am I going to find it? I don't know what I would search for, but it wasn't too long ago. And there's going to be a red tinywhoop in the thumbnail. There it is. 1S outdoor.
Runs everything.
Fuck. What the hell? Here's what the thumbnail looks like. And that's the one there, the red and purple one here. And so here comes a link. And yeah, this has that AIO, and it's been totally fine. Newbie Drone sent me the 75 millimeter motor-to-motor tinywhoop that had really durable. So it is light AF frame will event. It's a Air 65 V2 frame, and then some sort of a brain canopy that's like super slippery, you know, when you look at it sideways. And then a nothing antenna. And that's pretty much it. It's all about the height of the ducts and then just like the side profile of the canopy. Super simple to set up. But it does absolutely make a difference. Basilius says, which adapter model do you use for CO3 on the Mobula canopy? I knew somebody was going to ask that. And I don't think it's on Thingiverse. I think it's on one of the other ones. Maker Space. Is that a website? Is it Maker? Maker World? Oh shit! Almost. I believe it's Maker World. CO3. Let's see. It's just like a little papoose thing. I've printed a bunch of them, and I will sell you them. I'm gonna get it up on my Etsy store at some point here. Oh, balls. So it's not Maker World, it's the other one. What's the other word? Printables. It's on Printables. CO3. Damn, I'm good. There it is. That's one of them. There's actually two of them. I don't like this one as much as the other one, but this one will work. This one slots into the back of the frame, and it doesn't use screws. Is this the original one? This is the original one. This is the one that I like, and this is the one that I have printed. And you just use the screws like you normally would. So yeah, here's the two of them. I'm dropping them into the chat right now. So there's this one, and then there's this one. You're gonna not print these out of TPU. If you print them out of TPU, the CO3 camera will bounce right out of the mount. You got to print it out of a hard material. And then here's the other one too, I think. No, I haven't used this one. I don't know about this one. There's another one for the Caddx Ant. No, there's not. No, there's not. I think it's just that CO3 one. I forget. But if you're going to do it, you're going to do it with the CO3. Yuke says, it is the Aquila 20 HD. It is the Aquila 20 HD. On BetaFPV's website. What in the fuck is going on upstairs? Aquila 20 HD kit. Oh my god. Is this really a different protocol? Oh my god. It sure is. Art Lionk system. I'm gonna assume that this is a whitelisted Caddx Ant. Wow. This is a lot to ask of us. It's really it's a lot to ask that we continue to watch these companies put out more and more and more different video systems. They're really oh my god, why is this our lives? How many digital video systems are there? Are there double digits now? I think there are double digits now. Who can name them all? If you name all of the digital video systems, then you get nothing. Shoestring FPV says, can't get Nano 3 in the UK right now. Bought a Nano 4, but totally different size. Yep. Had issues with connecting to board 2, but Caddx Ant has matching connectors, same much price. Ant any good? A lot of people like the Caddx Ant. I am not a lot of people. I really don't like it. I find that it changes exposure way too slow. Admittedly, it's really good in low light. That's the one thing I think that the Caddx Ant does do very well. But other than that, I think it does everything else kind of shitty. My biggest problem with it is that it just when you go from dark to light, which we do a lot in FPV, it just takes forever to adjust. And so yeah, it drives me a little bit crazy in that respect, but it's all right. It's not as bad as some of the other ones. I would rate it like the fourth best, maybe like the fourth or fifth best. CO3 is my favorite, and then RunCam Nano 3 I think is my second favorite. And then I like the FXT, which is the same thing as the RunCam Nano like 8 or 7 or whatever the hell it is. And then I think it would be like Caddx Ant, like fourth or fifth. Mike K says, that's some good-looking wood right there. Uriel says, sing to him Bad Kitty, Soft Kitty, like Jenny for Sheldon. That's super weird that you mentioned that show. I watched that show back when it was like out, when it was like coming out. And then I watched all the way through it again at some point. And then it disappeared from whatever streaming services that I had. But just recently I realized that it's on HBO Max, I think it is, which we get for free through AT&T. And it's become a good fall asleep. I have certain shows that I like to fall asleep to. It was Top Gear, old school Top Gear for all my 20s and all my 30s, Jesus Christ. And then it became like sitcoms that I've seen a bunch of times. Recently, it's been Seinfeld, but now Third Rock from the Sun. No, not Third Rock from the Sun. The Sheldon Show. What the fuck is it called? What's the show called? 30 Seconds to Mars. No, it doesn't have the number 3 in it. Get away from the number 3. Big Bang Theory. There it is. Jesus. Yuke says, that's what I did with the purple frame. Also got the Nightwing 27,500 KV0702s. How do you like those motors? They should be very efficient. Although, wait, they're not happy model, low KV, high KV weirdos, right? So they should actually make some good power? Tell us. Sporny says, yesterday I found out about the existence of Gemfan Moonlight props. How stupid do you find the idea of LEDs and props? I actually love it. I love the moonlights. I love the starlights. I have an entire bag of the damn things. I even have a bunch of the Rampage Special Edition Moonlight props that are, they have purple on them. But yeah, the LED props thing is super cool if you're someone else. So it sucks because I've only like seen them once or twice. I actually have a little edit that I did with them when Patrick was filming me doing orbits around him, trying to make him fall down and die. Oh, for God's sakes, that's not the right button. Let's see. Where is this? I think it's in FPV edits. It's from a long time ago. We did this a long time ago. Here it is. Tron has arrived, bro. This is a watch this with the sound. It's worth it. Come on, dude. Dude, is that not the coolest shit ever? My favorite thing about this is that you can see as the motors speed up and slow down by the gap and like how the gap is kind of moving around. I would really love to do this with like a 200 frame per second camera and really get to see. So like, this is the coolest shit ever. It's just hard, dude. It's hard for the camera person to like keep up. But yeah, like see this left front, see how this one's spinning all slow and then it speeds back. Like it's because I'm making adjustments during the orbit. But yeah. Oh no, this is 240 frames a second. So actually, yeah, we would need even more than this. We would need like 400, 500, 1,000 frames per second, which is hard to do because it's dark. You have to do this in the dark. But yeah, these are the Gemfan Starlight LED props. It's super annoying to deal with. Like there's a battery in the hub, and like they're very annoying propellers, but. There's actually 2 batteries in the hub, but I mean, for the like, look how cool this is. Here's the main problem with it. It only looks cool on the top, so it only looks cool when the quad is flying directly at you. Once you fly past yourself, you can't really see the LEDs anymore. So it's like it's the coolest thing on Earth, but it's very difficult to get it, you know, to actually see it. But boy, is that slick. See the left front again going all slow, and then the other ones are... Or it might be... Yeah, no, it is going slower, right? Because in an orbit in this direction, the top left motor here is doing the most of the work. This right front motor is doing the least work. So it's actually spinning the slowest. And now look, the little gap stops. Oh, the frame rate and the RPM perfectly sync up, and there's no gap. Oh, dude, come on now. Isn't that cool? 240 frames a second on an iPhone. What a thing, man. This is an old iPhone too, man. This is 4 fucking years ago. Look at this guy keeping the damn thing in the frame, just spinning around and around and around. Unbelievably cool. I'm going to watch this whole thing. There they are. Ugh! Ugh! Look at it. Like balls of fire. So this is now 30 frames a second. So they're just straight lines. And now, so that's the Starlight. Here comes the Moonlight, just in one little quick second. So the Moonlight, well, they both only have LEDs on one propeller. The Starlight has 3 little LED chips, and so that's why they're like bright ball sacks. The Moonlight, it looks like the whole prop area is lit up because it has one LED that shines down the length of the propeller, and then it's a clear propeller with little etched white bits on it. And it just doesn't look nearly as cool. You can kind of see it there a little bit. Yeah, it's not as cool. And there's me crashing it into the deck. But they're both really neat. Both the Moonlight and the Starlight are wildly cool. But you're never going to see them. Wait, no, we're going this way now. You're never going to get to see them. You're going to have a friend film it, and it's nowhere near as cool when filmed. Mike K says, financially irresponsible Friday. There we go. Too many letters, though. It won't fit in the little sidebar. FizzPV says, you think anyone would want nice wood versions of the prop box? Probably. There's people that like wood. Cole says that he was born with a deep hole. Basilia says, the one with the O-ring? What's that in reference to? The one with the O-ring? FizzPV says, David Attenborough's voice. Uriel says, the name of the show is Penny Got Nipples. I mean, it's not. That's not part of the reason why we all watch it. Uriel says, you know a hairdresser? I do. A good one. But she's far away. Sporny says, it's just the coolest look. It is. Yuke says, they seem really powerful, like close to the 32,500 kV screamers. Okay, cool. Like that. Sporny says, buddy of mine uses them for drone chasing. Nice. Ms. I'm just going to call you Mist. Mist says, have you tested tinywhoop Topspin motors? I've heard they're very efficient. I'm currently using VCI 0702 Pro Lite for racing. I'm from the EU. Are they worth ordering? Great question. tinywhoop, WeBleed, and Happy Model 0702 motors are the KV is tested differently than all of the other motors out there. And they are very efficient. They seem very efficient because of that. But they are a little bit, oh yeah. They are a little bit more efficient than the rest of the motors, but they're not as efficient as it seems from the KV that's stamped on them. So, if you were to compare a WeBleed 0702 40,000 kV motor to like a newbie drone 30,000 kV 0702, they're going to make roughly the same amount of power. The WeBleed motor is going to be ever so slightly more efficient, but they're going to make basically the same amount of power. The KV numbers on the Topspins, on the WeBleed motors, on the Happy Model motors are way high, way high. But they are great motors. They are my favorite motors. At the moment, my favorite 0702s are the WeBleed 0702 32,500s or tinywhoop 32,000 0702s. It's a really nice mix of efficiency and power. It's not too much power. Really good for freestyle. Good throttle control with them. They're awesome. They would be comparable to a VCI or a newbie drone or BetaFPV, like 25,000, 24,000 kV motor, around there. Basilius says, sorry, there was a CO3 adapter on printables that uses two halves and keeps them together with an O-ring. Ah, okay. Camera 6 less out from the canopy looks interesting. All right, cool. I'm caught up on chat. It only took an hour and 10 minutes. Let's do some work over here. So, basically what we need to do is make a flight controller to ESC adapter, which will be pretty easy because this ESC just has just has 6 pads on it. Voltage, ground, and then 4 motor pads. So this will be pretty easy here. I've already got a stack of spacers on here for the ESC to drop down on. I am going to have to do a tiny little bit of soldering, though, because this flight controller, while it does currently have a VTX on it that I'm going to stick with, it's got a Crossfire Nano on it, and down with Crossfire. ELRS is better in every way. So we're going to swap this over. I've got a ELRS receiver right here, so let's take care of that. And I think I'm just going to take a guess. No, I'm not going to take a guess. I'm going to look it up and get the wires correct. Sometimes I'll just take a guess at the TX and RX on the wires because, you know, you got 50-50 shot of getting it correct. And if you get it wrong, it's pretty easy to swap. But I'm actually going to look it up because it'll probably take less time to just look it up real quick. So, on here, let me get the nerd goggles out. If you're going to be doing any of this small work, you need a set of these, man. You need a set of these. Be able to see what you're doing. if you want to not have solder balls all up in your shit. Yeah, see, this is clearly marked on this, so TX and RX. All right, so I gotta just take a look on here. Oh, balls. Well, I might actually take a guess because this is an old ass flight controller, and unfortunately the pads are not marked. I'm actually gonna rework. There's a I might not even need this. There's a ground pad with 2 wires stuck to it here, and it does not look very good. So let me really quickly just rework this. Hold on 1 second. This is gonna be ultra boring, but I'm gonna put a little blob of flux on there. I'm gonna take my fine tipped tweezers and I'm just gonna hold these two I'm gonna hold these 2 jib jabs in position while I just heat the joint up real quick and just reflow this joint because this is looking pretty ugly. This is back before I realized the magic of the magnified headset, and I couldn't really see what I was doing, and so I couldn't see how bad this solder joint looked. And so I'm just gonna come in here. There's plenty of solder on there. Oh, much better. Now we've got a nice big smooth solder joint rather than a solder joint that looked like the fucking aggro crag from Double Dare. Or wait, no, aggro crag wasn't Double Dare. I am actually going to add just a tiny little bit of solder. What was the aggro crag on? What was that show? Was it Forbidden Island? Might have been Forbidden Island. Just going to add a little bit of solder here. Yeah, now we're talking. Okay. What should I do? Should I just free ball it and maybe I'll get it right? What's this plug? Oh, this is the camera plug. Hopefully it's the right plug for this camera. Is this the right plug for this camera? No. There's no way. There's no way it's the right plug for this camera. No shot. Son of a bitch, I was really hoping I'd be wrong. God damn you. What camera is this plug for? Oh boy. Hold on. The whole thing is all fakakta now. Hold on. What plug is this? What camera is this plug for? Is the question here. Is it a camera that's in this bag here? Probably. Let's see. Yabba dabba 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 dabba. Yabba ba 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 ba. Is there a camera in here? This is a weird. This is like the big JST plug. I really don't know what camera that's for. That's very weird. Oh, balls. It's not in this bag. And there's no... Is there no camera in here? Nope. Shit sticks, dude. Well. Damn it. What do I do? Let me dive into my little bag of analog cameras and see if I can find the right camera for this. That'll take a lot less time than swapping this plug out, and maybe it's a good camera. Maybe it's a good thing. Apologies to anyone wearing headphones for the insane noises coming from the kitchen right above me. I don't know what the hell Sage is doing, but he's doing something up there. All right, so here's a box of pain. Okay, so here's the little bag of cameras. Is it this? Is it this Micro Eagle? Surely not. Oh my god, it is. Isn't it? Is it? It is. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I'm certainly not putting a giant camera like this in there. Oh, it's for one of these. It is for a RunCam hybrid. That's what it's for. Well, there's a chance that I do have a camera with the right thing on it. Hold on, let's see. Let's see. It's not a super uncommon plug. All right, see, these big cameras are obviously out. We're not going to be dragging them around. That would be insane. So let's get these out of here. Okay, so what do we got here? We got a Racer Nano 2. That's not the right plug. I can just kind of tell. But let's just... Oh, wait, no, it is! Holy shit. Okay. So there's a possibility. I've got a Predator Nano. This guy's too long, though. I don't want something that's this long. And also, this is the Predator Nano. This is not the Toothless Nano. This is the Predator Nano. Well, this is a possibility. Hold on. Let's see what this plug is on about. Yeah, okay. So this is a possibility. This is another Predator Nano with the big old plug here. I would not use this one, although maybe I'll use this one because it's all burnt to a crisp. And this fox ear is way too big. We're definitely not going to use this. So let's put this guy away. All right, we got a couple options here. I might actually use this because it's got the raw wires coming out, and I'm kind of out of space on this. This camera is going to be right up against this AIO, so I think I might actually use this one. But these other two are kind of interesting. So these are both Predator Nanos. If I use this one, I can just plug it in here, but I got all this extra wire, which is kind of ugly. And then there's this Racer Nano 2. So let me compare these from a depth. Oh, the Racer is way skinnier. I think we might do the Racer. Penguin says, do you think will we be able to squeeze an 04 light into your frame? I do. There's plenty of gap, and I'm going to be doing that, so you won't have to wait too long for that. That's coming. That's going to be this build here, but I just need the extra 04 Pro. 04 Lite, rather. 04 Lite. So yeah, you won't have to wait too long to see that. Okay, let me take this camera out of here. This is actually really good. This build is here to get the hell beaten out of it. This camera is not very strong. I'm actually really glad that that we're doing this right now, because I would have just broken this camera. And this is a cool camera. This is a RunCam Sparrow, I believe it is. It's one of the very few purple cameras. And so it's good for those builds that you never fly. If you're a fan of purple. So yeah, let's get this out of here. But it's a very weak camera. I've broken a couple of these in actuality. Because it's just like a little G-string. See, the purple is just like a little G-string there, and it just explodes. The size of that chip on the back, though. Good lord. All right, sweet. The Sparrow will live on. I think maybe let's do this little Racer Nano 2. We got a bunch of weird colors on this thing. We're just gonna beat the shit out of this thing anyway. Or should I do this guy because he's already pretty mangled? Let me see where this will sit once I have this bolted up. Yeah, that'll be fine. Looks like it'll have enough clearance. Let's see. Where's that flight controller? Oops. So if the flight controller's here, I'm gonna have to move some of these wires around in this flight controller, I think, but just to get an idea. If that's there. Oh, dude, tons of room. Plug coming out of there. Yeah. We're gonna do this, because this guy's all beat up. And it's red. Although this build's got like weird colors going on. It's got pink and purple, and it's odd. We'll save this for a rainy day. All right, so we got the camera situation figured out, which is great. I love that I'll just be able to plug right into it. That's pretty awesome. Let's do the little bit of soldering that we have to do just to get that out of the way. And then we will figure out the flight controller to ESC harness. Of course, I just dropped that screw. Where'd you go, little screw? There it is. Okay. Mike K says, are 1003 11,500 motors good for a 2S 2-inch toothpick? That depends. What props do you want to run on it? 11,500 kV. You're going to need a tri-blade propeller. It's not going to make enough power on a bi-blade prop. So if you're planning on running a tri-blade, then yeah, it'll totally work. Gemfan 2023S is my current favorite. But yeah, those will be good. Yeah. All right, what are we doing here? I'm just gonna guess. I'm just gonna guess at the pads for this. Where are my magnifiers? There they are. And I'm gonna do all the work on this silicone mat here. Usually I use the OmniFixo, but this silicone mat is nice and grippy, and so we should be totally fine here. Actually, before I do this, let me figure out what orientation this flight controller is going to be in, because maybe I want to aim these wires forward versus backwards. So the way this is set up here, we've got the flight controller to ESC cable coming out the back, and so battery wires are going to be up here like this. Wish this capacitor wasn't here. It's not going to really do anything there, but whatever, it's fine. Man, I'm really tempted to take this capacitor off of here, because I could just zap it down here. Would I be able to get the soldering iron down in there? I would. I could put the capacitor right down in this empty hole here. Fuck it, I'll leave it like this. Love to know what ESC this is. I have no idea. This is an old ass ESC. Okay, so then we've got this. So like, if I were to put this plug header on the front, see, this is kind of the way that I had this built previously. Or this is the way that I had this ESC flight controller rather oriented previously. I'm gonna have to make a little whip wop on the flibbity plumbus. Let's see if there's enough room for this thing to go back and forth. So pins down. So if we fold this really tightly here, And this is plugged in. So hold that as if it's plugged in. Oh yeah, we got space. Totally. Pins up. This cable is just long enough. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So that I have less soldering to do. So this guy goes on the front. USB comes out the side there. These cables are already going rearwards. Oh, balls. The problem's going to be this camera cable is not long enough. But I can probably just desolder this camera cable and flip those around, and it'll be just long enough. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. I'm going to flip that guy around, and then the receiver is still going to go out of the back. So let's flip these two camera cables around. Right now the cables are pointing rearwards. I'm going to just rotate them around so they're facing frontwards for a little bit more distance from them. And so now you're going to see some of the problems with not using an OmniFixo here, which is the potential of this flight controller to kind of move around. Even though this silicone work mat is pretty grippy, we might still have some issues here. But let's just see. Let's just see. So we've got voltage all the way on the outside. Okay. All right. And then signal 2 in. All right, so now we're just going to rotate this around. Voltage on the outside. Signal 2 in. All right, so here we go with voltage. All right, power cable is good to go. Here comes the video. That's 2 forward. This ground cable is really long. I'm actually really tempted to shorten up this ground cable because it being extra long like this could cause issues. Oh god, these two are you fucking shitting me? These are like exactly not long enough. Oh, you bastard. Well, I could mount this the other way. Damn it, dude. Alright, if I mount this the other way, I believe there's enough length on this, right? Yeah, there's plenty of length on this ELRS receiver that I'm going to be using. If I mount this the other way, the ESC plug is going to be out the back, and then the VTX wires are just going to, yeah, they're just going to wrap around a little bit like this, which is fine. There's enough length on those as well. I think this is what I'm going to do. I can see it now. This is the direction that we're going. Ground cable is there. That's whatever. So yeah, these guys loop around like this. That sits in there. This is exactly what we're going to do. And then when I solder the receiver on, I'm going to send those wires in that rearward direction. Yep, this is what we're doing. That sits back there like that. Okay, cool. So, here's the crossfire. Let me take one quick look on my hard drive for a wiring diagram for this flight controller. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but you never know. Where's that folder? I have a folder with images. Oh man, where the hell is it? Stills, random flying, PS auto recover. What the hell is that? Move to trash. Oh, for God's sakes, Jim. Oh no, it's gonna be in here in Gangly Gang. Here we go. Oh, it's gonna take this drive a second to spin up. Uriel says, listen to Sporny, 1102, 14,000 kV is great. 14,000 kV on 2S is awesome. All right, here we go. Quads, and then manuals, and let me see what I can find here. Whoop, that might be it. Okay. So, is that the one? Big brick there. One thing there. So it would be like this. 2 chips there. Nope, that's not the one. Here's the CL Racing F7 V2. Is this the one? Big chip there. Nope, that's not the one. F4 V2? Ooh, that might be it. Is that it? Nope, not quite. Not quite. HGLRC, newbie drone. Oh, okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Hold on. Is it? Ooh, this is it. This is it, isn't it? Sure is. Okay, this is the one. So it's RX and then TX. Second set of pads. Okay, do me a favor. Somebody type in chat ground 5 volt RX6 TX6. Ground 5 volt RX6 TX6. Talon F7 MPU 6000. Thank you, Mike K. All right. Let's get this going here. See, now this is where it's going to really suck. Just doing this on the mat, because I got a bunch of cables on the bottom. It's going to like be all janky. I'm not going to jank it up. I'm going to do this correctly. So let's grab the OmniFixo real quick. We'll grab a couple corners here, and we'll do much better quality work because of it. There we go. All right, so they're off on the right side here. Bring the soldering iron in like that. Let me just rotate it a little bit. And so here is our receiver. I'm going to leave these wires, sorry. Here's our receiver. I'm going to leave these wires full length because this is going to go in the back, but the pads are going to be in the front. And this guy luckily there's no silk screening on this flight controller, which is why I had to look up that manual. Super annoying. So, all right. The yellow is RX, and the white is TX. So white. Okay. White is how I'm going to remember that. Solder iron set to 699 degrees Fahrenheit. Good old freedom units. What's happening over here? We're good. Somebody type into the chat. No, never mind. I got it. Never mind. All right, clean the tip of the soldering iron when you remove it from the stand, not when you're putting it back into the stand. Ground pad first. Be patient. And then we've got power wire. In this case, I've got green and then yellow. All right, so like all of the solder came off of this couple of these pads, so I'm going to have to add a little bit of solder to these guys. Let's take care of that real quick. This is interesting, man. This is a build that I probably did like 4 or 5 years ago. The quality of my work has gotten noticeably better since then, which is a good thing. I'll tell you what, though, to be honest, it's the fucking headset. It's the magnified headset. Just be able to see what the hell I'm doing. Flyaway FPV with a $2 super chat. He says, "Make Analog great again." It was always great. We just stray away from it because we think that being able to see where we're going is more important than low latency and cheap cost. But man, we come back to it and we're like, this is fine. I don't need to see where I'm going. I just need to see where I've been. Backwards Bill. Backwards Bill lives way up on a backwards hill, which is actually a hole in the sandy ground, but that's a hill turned upside down. His gun goes gnab and his horse goes... I'll be very impressed if anybody knows what that's from. I grew up on that right there. Somebody knows what that's from. You old bastards know what that's from. That is absolutely insane. I don't remember lyrics, like, ever. And the fact that I remember a whole verse from that is pretty gnarly. Like Kay says, Analog is king. All right. Here we go. Oh, let's put this, let's do that. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Extra little Omni Fixo, now solder holder. What did I say? I want to go this way with these, right? I want to go this way. Yeah, we're going this way. Because this is going to be in the back. Yeah. Yeah. All right, where's that? Where is it in chat? Ground, RX, then TX. So ground and then voltage. Let's do it. So we're going to put this over here on the left side. Try to get the balance here. Whatever. Fish this through. Fuck out of here. Come on. Can you just get in there? Oh, God, you. We have the technology. Backwards Bill. Backwards Bill. Nobody knows Backwards Bill? I'll tell you in a second, but I thought somebody might know it. All right, there we go. The beauty of the Omni Fixo right there. All right, clean the tip of the soldering iron here as I pull it out of the stand. And we got voltage first. I'm sorry, ground first, rather. Making sure that we get the wire as flat to the surface as possible. Which is a little bit hard when I've got this one little Omni Fixo clamp here. Hey, baby. How'd everything go?
Hey, honey. It was great.
Cool.
I'm exhausted, but...
I'm sure you are. All right. There we go. That's much better. Nice and flat on the surface of the PCB. Now we got voltage. He's been. There's voltage. All right, looking good. I can get this a little bit flatter. There we go. Cool. And then white is TX on the receiver, so I want to go to RX on the flight controller, and that's the next pad, so that's pretty awesome. All right. And so if I had guessed, I would have gotten it right, because whenever I guess, I just solder them in the way that they don't in a way that the wires don't cross over each other. Okay. There's that one. And then last but not least, is RX on the receiver, which is going to TX on the flight controller. There it is. Cool. Nice, smooth, little flat solder joints. I got the wires going towards the back. I can now turn off soldering iron. And awesome. So now we just assemble, I think. I think that's all the soldering, because I'm not as tempted as I am to screw around with this power lead. I'm just going to leave it, and then I'm just going to pound this thing to death, and it's going to implode, because that's the point. This is the frame that I want to stress test. I've got these old-ass RCX 1304 5000 kV motors on here that are kind of beat up. And so these are just going to be like sacrificial motors that get sacrificed to the cow god. So the last thing I need to do here is make a flight controller to ESC cable. And to do that, it looks like I put this, I'm assuming that I put this cable on here to remind myself where the positive and negative pads are or whatever. And so let's see. Wires down. All right, so I have to reverse these two. I think this is the quad that I showed. Well, let me show you something. If you've got an ESC that you don't know what the wires are, take one of these plug headers that has bare wires on it, take your multimeter, power the ESC up, and just multimeter the different wires. I think that I've shown you this before, but it doesn't take very long to do it. So we got the multimeter. Put the multimeter onto like the normal setting that measures the voltage coming through the wires. And then it doesn't matter if you can see it or not. I'm gonna like talk you through it. Grab a battery. And oh god. This is a little 2S battery here. Plug it in. Okay. And then take these leads and just connect them. I'm going black to black and red to red. And then just look on the multimeter and see if it says negative. Holy shit, it does. Hold on. I would have wired this up backwards. Okay. Black to black. Whoa! Don't do that. That's for fucking sure. Jesus. It's only 2S though. It's fine. Black to black. Red to red. And it says negative 7.5 volts. So these are backwards. This red is black and the black is red. So if I now switch it up and I go red to black and black to red, now the multimeter does not say negative. It says 7.5 volts. And so these are backwards. What's really cool about that is that this little wiring harness is correct. I am super glad that I checked this. I very well could have blown up this. I don't know if this flight controller has reverse voltage protection. If it does, I would have been okay. If it doesn't, I would have blown up the flight controller, which would have been extra annoying because these 20x20 flight controllers are now expensive. So there you go, friends. Take out your goddamn multimeter and check stuff. Don't be lazy and assume that you've already checked it. I could have sworn that I already checked this. Also, if I'd not gotten 7.5 volts on those pads, then that would have meant that those are the motor pads, the signal pads. Signal pads will not pass full voltage, as you could have probably guessed. Damn, dude, that's pretty awesome. So, okay. Let's get this out of here. And we're going to replace it with... Where the hell did it go? Oh, it's on my lap. We're going to replace it with this one, which is now wired properly. Ground on the outside, then power, then blue, green, brown, white. I don't really care which motors the blue, green, brown, white are. I'm just going to reorganize them in Betaflight here. What I do need to make sure, though, is that this plug header that's going to hook up to the flight controller is set up properly. So first things first, you want to see which direction it plugs in. Usually the pins are facing upwards. So, okay, so it's going to plug in like that. So now I got to look at that drawing, the wiring schematic on the computer. And so here it is. And we've got VBAT and ground. I'm going to have to switch a whole bunch of these. So right now, it's ground all the way on the left and then VBAT. So I need to switch the red and the black. And then the flight controller has RX5 and current. The ESC does not, though. So it's going to be skip, skip, and then the motors. So I'm going to have to rearrange a bunch of these guys. I'm going to have to switch the red and the black. I'm going to have to skip the rest of these down. And the motors are going to be absolutely all over the place, but it just doesn't matter. I'm going to remove as few of these as I possibly can. So this can be a little bit hard to move these cables in the plastic. Put this shit on so you can see what you're doing. Then get your fine-tipped tweezers. Now, get a silicone work mat. Without silicone, this is going to slide all over the place. With a silicone work mat, you push down on it a little bit and it stays. And what you're trying to do here is come in at an angle. That's like the main key, is to come in on a pretty sharp angle on these plugs. This is going to go in and out of focus. It's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Blame Logitech. Well, no. Don't blame Logitech. Here. I'll try to get this right. 8:48, we got a little bit of time. So I'm going to go C920. I'm going to lock this thing into manual focus. And I'm going to go as shallow focus as I can. And this is going to be excruciating for me, but hopefully you'll be able to see what the hell's going on for a change. Why don't you darken down, you jackass? Oh my god, you stupid bastard. Hold on. Bring the exposure down. There we go. Okay, so here's the deal. Wow, all right, I've never really shown this in good detail before. This is kind of cool. So, here's the deal. You're going to come in at an angle. And all you're trying to do is lift up the little plastic bastard. But you need to get your fingers in position first, because you need to be able to pull these wires out. So here's the deal. You're going to get your one wire. You're doing one wire at a time. And you're going to use your middle finger and your thumb to grab the wire itself so that you can pull on the wire. And you're going to use your index finger to hold down the plastic. And so now with your index finger holding down the plastic, I know it's hard to see, but I can pull with these two fingers. This index finger is going to hold the plastic down, and then I can pull the wire right out of there. Okay? And so you got to be like, you got to have that all set up and ready to go before you dive into the rest of this. So these two guys here, and this is going to make it... The reason why I don't usually show this is because my fingers are like all over the place with it. But look, all you want to do... The outside one is the easiest because you can come in from the outside like this. The rest of these you got to come in at an angle. All you want to do is lift the plastic. These are really fine-tipped tweezers, and it's still a little bit of a struggle. You need to be really gentle. These plastic latches, they're very easy to ruin. And then the little metal bastards will just pop out. And so just keep digging, be patient, and just get the plastic lifted up a little bit. Hold on. This one's being like extra stubborn for some reason. There we go. All right. So just lift up the plastic and then use your middle finger and your thumb. I'm trying to do this in a way that you guys can actually see it to pull that out. And that, like, by this point we're good. But I'm going to go to the next one. And so there we go. I'm actually switching. So that you guys can see it, I'm using my thumb and forefinger on this to pull, and then I'm using my middle finger, whatever. It doesn't really matter. See, now it gets a little bit more difficult. Now you got to really come in at an angle to dig up under there. And so you just dig under, and then just lift it up. There we go. Just a little bit. Just enough to peek it out, and then there you go. And then put the tweezers here to hold this, and then you can just really gently pull it out. Don't go yanking on these. These are just crimped. This is very easy to pull this wire off this metal. Chill when you're doing that. And now I need to do 2 more of these. So again, come in at an angle. Lift the plastic up just a little bit. Just that much. That's it. And then wiggle the wire out. There it is. And then last one here is green. Make sure that you're only holding 1 wire in your fingers. If you're holding like 2 wires when you go to pull, nothing's going to happen. Okay, is that still remotely in focus? Not really. Ouch. Just hit my face on the damn light. Alright. Pop that guy up. You can kind of use the tweezers to push down on the plastic thing to hold it in place. The problem with that is you can very easily catch the metal latch. And see, so it's just barely not quite out. Lift the plastic up. And there you go. And see how the little plastic fingers are not like 90 degrees? That's what you... If you bend these plastic bastards 90 degrees straight up, they're fucking ruined. They need to look like this. They need to still be like flat down. And then what you want to do is just push them down a little bit more. You want like the memory of these plastic things to be in the downward position. So that when the tiny little... What you're doing is... You're getting this little latch. This little piece of metal here is what's catching on those plastic bastards. And if you look in there, you can kind of see them. No, I can't show you. But if you have a little 5X loop, you can kind of see it. And you can actually like move the wires in and out, and you can see the... Yeah, there you go. You can see the little latches in there, right? That little thing, the latches, those are catching on the plastic. That's what you want. These will not pop out of here because these plastic bastards are down low enough, and they want to go down. They don't want to lift up. If you take one of these and bend it up really hard, it's going to want to stay upwards. So you got to make sure that those are down. Cool. I never thought that I could show that because it is admittedly incredibly difficult to do that while the camera is on. Like there's fingers in the way and it's all crazy. But yeah, that worked out pretty well just now. I'm impressed. Let me fix this camera now. I need to go to auto exposure and I need to go back to auto focus. There we go. All right. Cool. So now I need to get these put into the right pins. And in order to do that, I need this image on my desktop. All right, so pins are up. And so we want VBAT on the left. Man, I can't see. I can't do this without magnification. So we want VBAT on the left. And so here we go with this. And then it's going to be ground right next to it. And you'll both feel and hear the click when that little metal part goes past the plastic. And again, don't be rough. Be gentle with these. Wiggle them and just barely push them a little bit. Sometimes what I'll do is take the fine-tipped tweezers and just really gently grab the wire to push it forward a little bit just to make sure it goes all the way in there. Should be able to see it with magnification though. And then give it a little tug and make sure it doesn't just pop right out of there. Not a strong, don't go yanking on these. Again, the wire is only crimped to the metal part, but give it a little tug. You should literally be able to see it in there though. And then we've got skip, so nothing, because this flight controller doesn't have current or bing bong output. And then we're gonna go green, then blue. Nah, we'll go blue, then green. So blue and green. And so the motor assignments are going to be a bit of a mess, but who cares? We'll just use the little wizard in BetaFlight and we'll be good to go. And so just put these in here and just be gentle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There it goes. Felt the click, heard the click. Last one. So like right now I've got like, this is going to be like motor 3, then 4, and then 2, and then 1. But again, who cares? And the last thing I do is push down on these little plastic guys just to make absolutely sure that they're all down. But the real key is to not mangle them in the first place, not bend them at a 45-degree angle in the first place. And then just give a little tug to all of the wires that we put in. And now we're good. We've got this little fella, which is wired correctly. The right things are going to the right places. And so now we can take this flight controller, and this is going to be on top. That's going to go like that. This is the camera plug. That's going forward. I might as well twist this camera plug up a little bit because I can shorten it. I'm going to twist it in this direction. I don't need nearly this much camera wire, so let's just twist this up a little bit here. Okay. Don't twist it up too much with analog video systems. You don't want any of the wires to form circles. You want the wires to twist like this, not form like a little loop. Loops are bad. And so that's how we want it. This guy's going to go rearwards with the ELRS wires. That's totally fine. I'm actually going to put a couple turns in this guy just to bundle these wires up a little bit. Because these wires have to pass in between the standoff and the plug header here. So having these twisted up will actually be nice. And also, I think these wires are a little too long. So when you twist these up, it shortens the wires up a little bit. Also just looks much better, to be completely honest. See, and so now the little bundle of wires will sit right in between that plug header and the grommet. And so we're gonna get this guy, and I'm tempted to twist this up as well, but maybe I won't. Yeah, no, I will. I am gonna twist this up just a little bit to keep these guys sort of together. Okay, and so pins facing downwards. There we go. Being super careful every time you plug these guys in. It is super easy to bend the pins inside of the header on the flight controller or the ESC. And once you have bent those internal pins, your life is significantly and instantaneously an awful lot worse. That is really, really frustrating to then try to get those straightened back out. Okay. Pins down. Plug that in. And there we go. Everything is plugged in. I've already got the correct little spacers on here to space out the ESC and the flight controller. Although these are awful close together. I could probably add a little bit more of a spacer here. Let me just take a quick look. What do I have set up here for the spacers? I've got a brass bastard, and then yeah, I'm kind of running out of these little brass collars too. So let me switch this out. These a little too much room. I don't know why I had this so slammed together. Let's give this flight controller a little bit more room here. Game Hat Arrow says, I'm mailing you some Game Hat Pocket Docs to check out. Very cool. I can't wait to show those. That's a really cool little design. Game Hat also says, I was super late. What makes this build special? This build is on a frame that I've been working on for about 6 years with 3 different people. Most recently, Ryan Harrell, who does most of GetFPV's Lumineer frame designs. And so, yeah, I've just been dragging my feet forever on getting one of these frames built. There was always like kind of something in the way. But away we go. This is a earlier prototype version of this frame. The newer version is a little bit better in a couple different ways, but still, the arm design has not changed. And so this build right here was originally supposed to be like the durability build, but then we started changing stuff, and I said, all right, well, I'll hold off. But yeah, the time is now. All right. So let me get this flight controller lifted up a little bit more here. Let's just grab. Alternatively, I could run shorter stack screws, but then I would have to take everything apart, and that's just kind of silly. We're just gonna slap this on here, and we're gonna be all set. I'm actually gonna use these little plastic fellas. I've got these plastic standoffs that I've been saving forever. And I think they're 4 millimeters, which is exactly the height that I want in this case. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You wouldn't want to use these not inside of a metal screw. Also, let me check these to make sure they're solid. They are indeed. And so yeah, this will be a lot slicker here. So we got some plastic gubbins going down. Coors says, what is the name of the stand you're using to hold the parts? OmniFixo. It looks like everybody took care of it in chat. But yeah, OmniFixo. Amazing, amazing, amazing little piece of kit. Well worth it. Sporty says, what is a good build for 1S 550 batteries? I have a bunch laying around. Something with the Gep RC motors, the Gep RC 1002 25,000s. Do a build around that. Do like maybe an X12, 1.6 inch prop kind of thing. Or you could do a Meteor 75 Pro build. The new 1102s, 1102 22,000s make a lot of power. But I think those Gep RCs are still going to make more. I don't know. The BetaFPV 1102 22,000s on a 1.8 inch prop are probably going to make about the same amount of power as the Gep RC 1002 25,000s on a 1.6 inch prop. I would rather do the 1.6 inch prop personally, because you've got a lot better frame selection. Although, I mean, for a 1.8 inch prop, the frame selection is a lot better now that there's the Happy Model M80 frame. It's just the prop selection kind of sucks, right? The only props are the HQ ultralights. When you go 1.6, you've now got that tri-blade. It looks like Gemfan just came out with that we were just looking at on WeBleed's website. You've got the Gemfan 1610 biblade, which is amazing, and then you've also got the HQ ultralights. So yeah, I'm still a 1.6 fan rather than 1.8. Oh, buddy, we are good to go now. We got some this is such an old school build. This is a really old ESC. This is a really old flight controller. It feels right to be using these little plastic standoffs here for my spacers. This is pretty awesome. I am digging this. All right. So we got the plastic bastards on there. Now we're just going to throw these. I'm going to throw one set of these adapters on because the grommets in the flight controller are M4 outer diameter, M3 inner diameter. And that's what these little brass guys do really well, is adapt M2, which is what these screws are, to M3. And I'm not screwing them all the way down because the grommet is a little bit thicker. And so I'm just kind of leaving these floating up off these plastic standoffs so that they center themselves in the grommets that are in the flight controller. Ideally, what I would do is run 2 of these little brass adapter fellas, but I'm running low on these, and so I'm just going to run the one. And then I don't need these little washers anymore. I've got a couple M2 nylock screws we're going to put on the top, and we'll be good to go. So this can now go back on here, and we will have used a little bit more of the standoff height, which is nice. Give the ESC a little bit more room to breathe. Not that this is a build that's going to like stress this ESC out or anything, but still. These motors are fairly... This is an old 1304 motor, so they're pretty sort of weak. They are 5,000 kV though, which is kind of cool. But yeah, they're only a 1304. They're not a 1404. There we go. That's looking awesome. Just push down on the grommets to make sure that they're going down on these little adapters as much as possible. Make sure that these wires are not pinched. That's looking good. And I need to figure out a little TPU setup here. And I also need to figure out how I'm going to hold these guys down. But we'll take this wiring harness here from the ESC to the flight controller and just pull it over a little bit away from those bundles of wires. And then what I'll do is... just kind of situate the the receiver on the bottom here somehow. One of the improvements that we made to the bottom plate is to add like a carbon fiber stringer through the middle here that you can run a zip tie around. The newer version of the frame has that little setup there, so it just makes it easier to hold this down. But yeah, this is this is like the first prototype that Ryan did. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna hold that down, but I'll figure that out. What's nice is the wires are long enough, so that's looking totally fine. Maybe I'll run it front to rear like, and just run. Yeah, you know what? That's probably what I'll do. I'll do a zip tie around the whole outside, and I'll just put this like that, and then run this wire over, like loop it like that, and then it'll sit down there like that. And so I'll just run like 2 zip ties left to right, basically like shoop shoop, and just hold that guy in this like little void down here. Hopefully that'll be okay. And then I'll put the VTX here up on top. Something like that. Probably the wires coming out the back. Yeah, wires coming out the back there. So I'll do a little piece of VHP. Actually, I'll flip this guy upside down. Yeah. I'll flip this guy upside. Well, maybe I don't want this antenna to hit the carbon. That looks a little ugly. Nah, yeah, I'll put it like that. I don't want that antenna to ground out on the carbon. So, yeah, that's what it'll look like. Couple of zip ties on there, and we'll be good to go. Got these wires facing upwards. Yeah. Cool. There it is. I'm going to do that on my time so that you guys don't have to watch me sitting here cutting VHB and shit. Let me get caught up on the chat, and then we will all enjoy the rest of our Friday nights. Do I have all of the analog stuff, analog camera stuff that belongs back in here? I think I do. The batteries I'm going to be running this little guy on are 4S, 500s, and 450s. I have a bunch of 450s, and then I have these fresh 500s. I'm probably not going to crash these 500s really hard, but the 450s I have are old as shit, so they're going to get beaten to death. I'm not going to run this thing on 4S 850s. That's way too much. And look. Nope. Never mind. In the chat, GameHat says, OmniFixo could help with this. Grab plug and wire with clamps, then you can use the clamp to pull. I like having that plug flat down on the table so that it doesn't move. The OmniFixo would have a little bit of give to it, I would think. You got to really be able to dig in there with the fine tip tweezers. I'm not sure how that would work with the OmniFixo. I've been pulling those little wires out of the plugs forever, and the little system that I have to do it works really well. If there's not a camera in the way, I can get in there and knock it out really, really quick. Uriel says, I always fell asleep from sound of Bob Ross. That's actually a really good idea. Make some noise, please. Otherwise, wake up with stamps from my keyboard on my forehead. Sporty says, thanks. I already have 2 1.8-inch builds. Definitely don't want another one. Well, those are the builds to burn those batteries down on. GameHat says, tip for you, peel VHB backing while it's still on the roll, then cut your length. Then cut most of the excess backing and dog ear it a little. Never struggle. Start the VHB backing again. On the roll. Then cut your length. Then cut most of the excess backing and dog ear it. I'm having a hard time following that. Peel it while it's on the roll. what's on the roll, then cut length, then cut most of the excess. Basically peel backing while it's still on the roll, then cut it. Interesting. I'll try that next time. Ever since I started using the fine-tipped tweezers and just the little magnifier, it's not an issue with the VHB anymore. Go figure, as with soldering small stuff, when you can see what you're doing, it becomes infinitely easier. Kevin Sumner says, here's a happy little tree. It'll just be our little secret, indeed. Thanks, friends. CiottiFPV.com to support me. This is a totally crowdfunded thing. If you like these live streams and you would like to see them continue, I 100% rely on you. Patreon is the absolute best way that you can support me, and you can get entered into giveaways. When you win a giveaway, you get like at least $50 worth of stuff. And so the $5 a month tier will get you entered every single first Monday of the month. You don't have to be on the live streams. $3 a month is general admission. It gets you access, it gets you a whole bunch of really cool stuff, but you might as well do the extra $2 so you can get in a bunch of giveaways, win a bunch of tinywhoop stuff. It'll pay for that $2 extra for like years to come. So hit CiottiFPV.com and click some buttons. Affiliate links, change your bookmarks to my affiliate links. Work with me on Fiverr one-on-one. Jump onto our Discord. Lots of cool ways you can join the community. Click thumbs up on this video. Send a clip of this video to your friends. If you've got a friend who was struggling at one point with one of these plugs, clip me doing it and send it to them. David Ciotti with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Dad. Have an awesome day, everybody. I'll see you Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Tip your waiters and go to hell. I don't know why. Here's a little bit of flying from Patrick's. I have no idea what I'm flying. Love you, bye! Have an excellent weekend, my friends.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy spaghetti's, fur flies, and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin, all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling that top speed thing, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Ciotti's on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Yo, Ciotti behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. Yeah, CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling that top speed thing, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti, barking mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends, legends sing it loud. Yeah, Teddy, Spaghetti, and CiottiFPV always proud.